Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Reshmi Mukherjee and in my channel you get ICC, ISC, English Literature and English Language topics. So today, as you can see on the screen, we are going to start the topic. The fresh topic I will call it, although it is published already in my website, you can of course use it. I found some of the students mailing me and also writing in the chat box that you haven't received. I already published it, so you can find this in the website also. However, you were unable to understand it that better and you find that when I explain you verbally, it is easier for you. No issues, we have come up with this topic today. So we will start this Death of a Naturalist. As you can see, the whole poem explanation you will get, some the word by like every single word, the meanings of the words you will get over here, analysis, like why the poet is suddenly writing such a poem, okay, that is very important. Along with that, the basic theme, the basic style, there is a style in which the poem is written, that is also very significant. Why the poet is following this particular style to write his poem. All these things are very important to know when we are reading a poem, okay. So you will find the whole explanation, as I told you, in the mobile phones, in your laptops, which is www.slothskill.com. so slothskill.com. the link will be given in the description box also, and you can directly go to the Google and search Slothskill. You will see the content over there. Search your content over there, Death of a Naturalist, whatever your content is. Even the fresh topics are uploaded like this one. So this is a topic from Rhapsody, our book, and we will discuss it from the book itself, right. So let us come to our topic, and yes, it is in page number 18, okay. So let us start with the topic today, and yes. So the first line of the poem, this is a very strange poem, as you will see. Why strange? Because we find that the whole thing, if you move to the fresh page, you will see it is talking about this this kind of a background, okay. See the first two lines. All year the flax dam festered in the heart of the townland, okay. So we see in the heart of the townland means, as you can see in the picture, all around you see the city or the town, okay, and in between, in the center, it is not a city, it is a town, so we can understand it is not that extremely developed. So there is a pond kind of a thing in the center of in the heart, that means in the center, okay. And flax dam, it is a flax dam. What is it? It is a decaying pond, okay. Flax dam, flax dam. Flax dam means it is a kind of decaying pond, or a pond where you leave these, like in Bengal, those people who are following me from West Bengal, you know, there is a thing, there is jute which is put, you know, with the whole thing, the stem, they are put into the water, they are left over there to dry, to become stale in the water itself, so that the fibers can come out from that stem, okay. So that is, if you are aware, if you are from West Bengal, you are aware, you have ever seen such a thing, okay, that jute, how that it is extracted, so you will know this even better. So this flax is also a different element, but of the same, but the idea is the same thing, that you have to bring out the fiber from it. How do you bring it out? By putting it into the water, by, you know, just submerging it into the surface, under the surface of the water, so that the whole of the layer, you will understand it even better when we get to the next image. So you can see that it is, you know, it is submerged in the water, and that will, what will it be its impact? It will become stale, it will rot, okay, it will decay, and then the later on, after few days, after few weeks, you can take those fibers out, you can separate the fiber from the stem, okay. Now I am very sad to tell you that recently I found in my comment section, which made me very sad, that you all believe, there are not all, there is only one person's comment that I believe, that I saw. He is trying to tell me that, see, it takes a lot of time to find these pictures, to prepare them. I can directly put the poem over here and teach you, right, and can tell you the meanings, but I take out time to prepare these, to find out such relevant pictures that will help you to understand the chapter better. But he is trying to point out that this is something which I am using to draw the attention of the students for money and stuff. Now this is something, whatever might be the payment that I receive from Google, from YouTube, and from Google, of course, because I have a website also, that is a complete different thing. That is not the charge that I take from you. right? So you get this free content, so you should utilize it. See, if you have a private tutor, if you have your school teachers, everybody has those, right? So you utilize. If you are following my channel, you get a better opportunity, you get a better scope, as I believe that it will be a better scope in case sometimes aisa ho gaya ki we cannot understand some topics in school. It happened with me also. Sometimes I could not understand in school, so I would come back. If there was a channel, any channel, okay, I would go back to that and see if there are some images. The images help me. I used to search in Google, okay, the Flax Dam, okay, if I had this topic, I had Macbeth in my school days, so I used to search Macbeth and I would find out, relate with the image, because I found that helpful for me. It was helpful to me. So I felt that pictures help us to understand better. So these pictures are for you, okay. So do not think that I, like whoever has commented that, I am sure that you possibly are not a student. You are somebody else who just wants to defame, okay, just come out to speak something against a teacher. Maybe you are some supporter of some other teacher, that is fine. You can of course follow somebody else. It is not at all, I am not forcing you to follow this, okay. If you think this is not helping you out, do follow something else. There are teachers who, there are many teachers who will just put the poem on the screen and will read out from there and it is over, okay. But I am trying to do something different just for the sake of your selves, right? Ki you would understand the topic better. That is all we need. We have to understand the poem better. So if you are not feeling that this would help you, do not follow. To that particular child I am saying. But if you think that this is helping you out, do let me know, because otherwise I will put the poem only on the screen and just without any pictures, without such explanation, because anyway I invest a lot of time in finding the pictures, okay. So if you think that this is not helping out, you can tell that to me, then I will stop. And if those kind of comments come into my comment section once again and keep coming, I will stop completely posting these videos. I will only post things for the seniors, okay. For the college students, I have already received many messages about that, so I can do that, okay. So just let me know if you think that it is not helping you at all, if my videos are not helping you, if my channel is not helping you, if the pictures are not helping you. You feel free to comment, because I will see how many feel like that, and according to that I can change myself, because everybody needs feedback, right, to understand whether it is good for somebody or not, right. So let us just forget about it now. So all year the flax dam festered in the heart. Festered means what? That it is like in the center of your body, like the heart, it is in the center of your body. So this flax dam was also in the center of the town, and green and heavy headed flax had rotted there. So if you move to the next page, you will see what is it actually. It is a kind of, you can see they are stem, okay. So they are bundled and they are put into the water, okay, submerged in the water. Flax naturally will rot inside the water, weighted down by huge sods. Sods matlab big pieces of earth. So big pieces, chunks of earth is used, soil of mud is used, so that they can be submerged. If this is the layer and you put this flax, okay, this stem, and it is submerged in the water, then the whole thing will rot faster, okay, the tops also. Daily it sweltered in the punishing sun. That means, so it is kept under the sun, and it sweltered means it was under the heat, it was under the burning heat, under the extreme heat, it would burn, okay. Bubbles gargled delicately. So if you move to the next picture, you will see the bubbles, okay. There are bubbles that would come out, because you can understand, right. So this is the stem which is under water and it is submerged under the water, and the bubbles are coming out of it, right. Blue bottles wove a strong gauze of sound around the smell. There were dragonflies, spotted butterflies, but best of all, the warm thick slobber of frog spawn. So if you move to the next picture, you will see dragonflies, you will see blue bottles are a kind of butterflies, as you can see on the screen. So bubbles would come up, as you have seen in the last picture. Blue bottles we find dragonflies, we find spotted butterflies, okay, and we also find what? Slobber of frog spawn. Slobber means saliva, okay, salivate. We do, when you salivate, have you seen the color of it? Very translucent, transparent kind of a thing. So this is the frog spawn. Frog spawn is actually the those, the eggs of the frogs. So as you can see, they are completely they are kind of translucent, right. So that is compared to the slobber or the saliva. Okay. Next, a frog spawn that grew like clotted water in the shade of the banks. So near the banks, as you can see, right, it is near the banks. So they are all like bubbles. Okay, they are all like circular stuff, frog spawn. Okay, translucent stuff, and they look like clotted water, like bubbles. When you look into a bubble, you see, na, they are kind of water that have come together and clotted together, right? And here every spring I would fill jam potfuls of the jellied specks. That means jam potfuls of the jellied specks means I would take each of them, okay, from the, they were on the banks only, so I would collect them from those banks. I would collect them and place it in the bottle. Okay, I would put them in the bottle. There are some people now who would put flies in the bottle, frog spawn in the bottle, and see what happens. Okay, so where is it? Jellied, yes, jellied specks. Specks over here, speck actually means dark spots, but here it means the eggs. Okay, to range on window sills at home. Range means I place them, as you can see in the picture, place them on the window sill. Like if this is a window, there is a sill where I can place my cup, where I can place my pen, where I can keep my mobile phone. Okay, so that place is the, that place is my window sill. Okay, on shelves at school, sometimes I place it on the shelves, sometimes I shelves at my home, sometimes I place it at the shelves in school. Okay, all the sills, okay, I keep it there because I love how they look inside the bottle. Now after that, what happens? And wait and watch. What do I do with those? And wait and watch until the fattening dots. Now what will happen? These dots, okay, these inside the bottle, they will slowly grow and then burst. Okay, it's an egg, right? So just like an egg, it will crack and the snake will come out. This will also grow, and this is like a bubble, it will burst and the tadpole will come out, small tadpole. I would love to see, like, see frog. I will tell, there is a lot to understand from this story, from this poem. It is a very interesting, very sweet sa poem. I will tell you why. Okay, first follow the lines, because simple meaning agar samajh le to it is easier to understand the details, right? So what is it that I love to see? This is this kind of frog, na, and the transformation of frog is very different. Like when I was young, when you were all young, you looked same, almost same. You had hairs, you had this face, not the exact same face, not the exact thing, but almost similar, right? As you grew, your parts grew and you became tall, became fat, something like that, right? So like I became fat, okay, when I grew. So the idea is that you look very similar. But have you seen frogs? Frog spawn, tadpole living in the water, then these kind of big frogs, strange looking frogs. Nobody looks similar to one another, right? So that is why I found this transformation very strange and interesting. And this is a kind of what? This is curiosity. So you can say this overall first stanza is talking about curiosity, of wonder, of potential for change and growth. It is he is very innocently just being an observer. Okay, so he is interested in seeing how things transform, how things change, how these frogs grow. Okay, so curiosity is identified here, wonder, potential of growth, then we see innocence and wonder over here, innocence, observation over here, okay, innocent observation here. These are the points that you will have to remember. Okay, next, Miss Walls. Now suddenly what happened? The fattening dots, they would burst, and then from here what would come out? We would see tadpoles coming out from there. These are tadpoles, as you know, swimming tadpoles. Okay, so now Miss Walls would tell us how the daddy frog was called a bullfrog. So you know, like the life of frogs. If you are a bio student, you are of course aware of it. If you are not, still a basic idea you have that those frog spawns are there in the water. Okay, those eggs. Now they will grow and it will burst, and the tadpole will come out. And once the tadpole is out, they get the water around, right? So now they will swim in the water. They can live only in water, not outside. So now they will swim, survive in the water. Once they grow big enough, they will become frogs, and then they can live anywhere. Okay, so that is the lifestyle of a frog. Now what happens? Miss Walls, this person is the teacher. Okay, so Miss Walls would tell us how the daddy frog was called a bullfrog. So after this, what will happen? So he has collected these tadpoles, sorry, not the tadpoles, the frog spawns can come as an MCQ. What does he collect? Frog spawn or tadpole or bullfrog? None of the above. So you can say he collects the frog spawn. He sees how they grow into tadpoles. Okay, now what he does is, now the teacher is telling the students that, you know, they grow into daddy frogs, mummy frogs. Okay, and these daddy frogs and mummy frogs, they croak, okay, in the place where they live. Okay, the sounds that they make, this is onomatopoeia, right, figure of speech, the sound words. Croak, laid hundreds of little eggs. So these actually stay over here only in this flax dam. Okay, and they give birth to their, you know, those small eggs. They will lay their eggs. Whose eggs? This is the bullfrog's eggs. Okay, and they will lay these eggs, and then these are actually called frog spawn. Then they will burst and form tadpoles. So this is how they grow. You could tell the weather by frogs too, for they were yellow in the sun and brown in the rain. So because he was so very curious, he was such a good observer of these frogs, he knew what is the weather. You can even predict the weather, because they will turn yellow when there is good sun, when there is rain they will turn brown. So they even change their color. So he was very interested in seeing them. Okay, just a watery clot, okay, that is the frog spawn. Then the tadpoles, they can so sweetly swim in the water. Okay, he found it very sweet, and the colors would also change. So he is very happy with it. He loves to observe them. Now we shift to the second stanza. The first stanza is big, second stanza is short, and there is no particular number of the uneven lines. So what is the reference? Why do this is the style? As I told you, we will discuss the style also. Why are there uneven lines? Because this is a poem about innocence versus experience. First stanza is about innocence, the last stanza is about experience. So we don't know when we will become, you know, experienced in something. Like sometimes you become, like, it's not that when you pass class 12 you will grow, you will become experienced. It's nothing like that, right? Somebody can become experienced when he is in class 5 also. Possibly those children, those the poor children out on the streets, they grow experienced very soon. They know that they have to earn their bread, they have to earn their money. So their experience comes very early in their life. But for us who have a very stable life till class 12, till college, we don't even think what is going on around us, what type of job we need to do, when should we earn money and stuff, right? So our experience comes later in our life. So that is why it is different for different child, right? So it is uneven. This is the kind of symbolic idea of innocence versus experience. When your innocence will fade away and your experience will come, nobody is aware, right? It can come anytime. Okay, it can happen anytime in your life. So that is therefore uneven stanzas are given. Now that the innocence period is continuing, the stanza ends. That means this is the time when the innocence will end and the experience will grow. Let's see the experience. Then one hot day, when fields were rank with cow dung in the grass, the angry frogs invaded the flax-stem. Now of course they did not invade. This is the first time. It's not that the frogs have suddenly come into the flax-stem. They stay here. Possibly the child did not know. Possibly the child was more interested in the frog spawns, the tadpole. So he has not been bothered about these actual frogs. Okay. So suddenly one day what happened? On a hot day, fields were rank. Rank means they were filled with cow dung. Okay, as you can see, already very dirty. It is filled with cow dung in the grass, and suddenly I found those angry bullfrogs invaded the flax-stem. They all came into it. Okay, I ducked through hedges. Ducked means this is a kind of gesture. Okay, kinesthetic imagery, that you duck, you move. There are hedges, short grasses, trees, and all. So through those he has to come to this dam. So somehow he escaped the hedges, the small bushes, and he, to a coarse croaking. What does he hear over here? Coarse croaking. Croaking is again a sound word, onomatopoeia. The croaking of the frog, cock, cock, that sound that it makes, that I had not heard before. So I had never heard that strange sound before. Possibly he did not come at the right time. Okay, like when it rains, we often hear a frog croaking. He never heard it possibly. The air was thick with a bass chorus. Okay. So what is he trying to say? That it is a kind of a low sound, okay, that is created. The air was thick with that sound, that chorus sound, okay, that extreme kind of very strange croaking sound, okay, but of course in a group, chorus. Right down the dam, gross bellied frogs were cocked on sods. Sod means those muds, okay, those portions which were used to weigh down the flax, okay. So on those bits of mud over there on the top of the flax, I found these frogs sitting and croaking. Their loose necks pushed like sails. Now you must have seen the frogs, they have this skin is very loose, okay, and they can puff it very like extremely. When they croak, you will see that this is puffed out like this much, okay, it is a huge puff over here. So he is saying that this is loose, this skin is loose, that's why it can grow so big, right? And the slap and plop were obscene threats. So some were hopping, some were jumping from one place to the other, some were croaking, okay, and this thing, when they were making that sound, this thing was blowing in and out, okay. It seemed that they were like grenades, they would burst, okay. Their blunt heads farting, so it seemed that the soft head of theirs were breathing out air, and I sickened. So this kind of an image, this slimy, slothy, okay, this kind of head bursting, obscene threats, slap and plop, they were jumping around, making such weird noises, okay, and it seemed that their overall appearance, like you can see in this picture, it seems that they are going to jump on me and attack me, scare me down, okay. Poised like mud grenades, they are going to attack me. I sickened, turned and ran. So this is the line when you find that he is now experienced, that once you grow, just like the frog has grown, certain things change in your life, okay. You cannot accept everything so simply like he used to accept in the first stanza, when he could accept, acha, this is so sweet, this is just like a, you know, clot of water, frog spawn is a clot of water, tadpole so sweetly swimming in the water. Reality is not that sweet, okay. So the great slime kings were gathered, they have a very slimy body, okay, like kind of slippery body, were gathered there for vengeance. So now this line is important, vengeance, and I knew that if I dipped my hand, the spawn would clutch it. So he is trying to say that, see, this is what your conscience, 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 your conscience strikes you hard. This is the first time you realize these frogs are attacking me. Why? What have I done? Because I have taken away their children, I have taken away their eggs. So they are angry on me, they want to, they have gathered here for vengeance, that means to revenge, to take revenge. And that is why now if I dip my hand to clutch, to collect any more frog spawn, they are going to attack me. He used to collect it, right? The first picture you saw, he used to collect it, and what he used to do was, he used to place it in these bottles, store them and separate them from their parents. So now the parents have come back to fight, okay. So the last two lines is kind of a realization of consciousness, of experience, of personal growth, okay, that what have I done, that is whatever I have done, it is not the right thing to do, okay. And this is also maturity, okay, you can call it maturity. Once he also realizes that every action has its consequence, okay. It's not very, like, even if I smile, there is a consequence in certain situations. Even if I speak a word, it can have consequence, people can interpret it differently. So my actions have its consequences, and I am answerable for those, okay. Just like I am answerable for taking away, for stealing those eggs, okay. So the frogs have come for revenge. So what are the points you will remember? That one's actions have consequences. The second stanza talks about maturity, and it is contrasting to the innocence in the first stanza. That is why they are uneven. This is a kind of disillusionment, that everything is not that sweet and beautiful. Like when we are in school, we always feel that, oh my god, world is so beautiful, I have so many good friends, this way the life will go on. But later on, when you enter a new world, when you enter your competitive world, you see, these same friends do not bother about me. They are interested only, if you have a very good friend in school life, you are very happy with it. But if you have the same career, possibly you would see that he or she is not sharing notes with you. Then you will understand, this is your experience. This is the thing that you realize, maturity, that he is not going to share, because over here we are competitors, just like in a game, okay. So we cannot share stuff, and we should not feel bad about it also, because this is the right thing, this is life. So we accept, and we understand what life is, okay. So that is the time we realize the harsh reality of adulthood. So this is adulthood, this is personal growth, this is maturity, and this brings a little bit of disillusionment, that world is not that a happy place as we always had thought when we were young, right? So this contrast is very important in this poem. So we have to understand, questions will come accordingly. If you have followed my lecture very nicely, you can even frame, and if you have a little grasp on the language, you can write beautiful answers, okay. But even if you think that no, it is not that easy for me, I cannot still frame answers, I believe one more class I will bring on this topic. You let me know whether you need one more class on it, a little more number of lectures, explanation of questions you require. So I will bring the next one, okay. I believe this has helped you, and you understood, you found this. Let me know, because many of my students in the batch were telling me this is not at all interesting, ma'am, we don't like this poem at all, ma'am. You let me know whether you liked the poem or not, okay. Possibly after explaining this poem, you can say that no, I still did not like it. What is this talking about frogs and stuff? But you may feel, if you have understood it properly, if you have internalized it, that yes, this is about innocence and experience. This is not just about a frog, this is about life, okay. This is about life, this is about that realization, this is about maturity. If you have understood the poem and loved it, that means you have actually understood what life is. So this poem is not just about frogs, it is the death of a naturalist, it is the death of an observer, of a very innocent observer who changes into a experienced person, who matures in his life, okay. So I believe this has been interesting for you. Write to me what is your observation about the poem, and thank you so much. See you in my next class. There we will also discuss a little bit about the author and some questions, right? Bye bye, see you in my next class. And yes, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.